So in hindsight, which is always 2020 vision, here are a few things that we have learned along the way. Let me chat about our initial experience. The initial experience we had, the first 3 days of completely online learning when the whole school was at home and so were the teachers, it was quite a learning curve for teachers and for students. It was a time of learning for everybody. And our initial impressions were that the students felt a little bit overwhelmed. Maybe firstly with having to deal with the software, not being familiar with using it on a daily basis for all subjects. We also found that most of the students were battling with the amount of work that they were receiving. They were perceiving the amount of work as too much. And I think this comes down to time management and discipline, especially with working online when everything is in front of you at the same time and not per subject every hour as we go through the day. So that was an interesting one to learn and something we need to discuss with our students. Another point well worth noting is that I don't think a lot of teachers were aware of what all the other teachers were doing. So handing out work to your class for your subject seemed like a small thing, but having to have all the other staff handing out work as well at the same time, it starts to build up. And so teachers were not aware of all the other work that was being handed out. So we need to figure out a way of being in touch with each other in that situation as well. Here are some things we learned, especially when going with video lessons, live video chats. So having a live video chat with your class, very exciting. However, there are a couple of tips we needed to get in place first. Rule number 1, mute your microphone. Please mute your microphone. That was the first thing, because a lot of students were not used to this, and so they would all come into the class and everybody would start talking and there would be absolute chaos. So rule number 1, mute your microphone. Another good rule to follow is only switch on your camera if necessary. Why? Well, this just helps to preserve some of the bandwidth and keep things moving along smoothly. Otherwise, there'd be a lot of lag and delay and maybe disconnections as well. So switch off your camera, mute your microphone. It's a good idea if teachers can constantly stay engaged with the class while running a live session. Now, how do we do something like this? Well, if you are talking to your class, you can simply ask them for some feedback, either audio feedback or just a thumbs up or a message in the little message bar on the side. So we can type something or give us an emoji or a thumbs up or answer us as well. And that's a really nice way of keeping the kids engaged with your lesson, because if you're just going to sit and talk the whole time, the kids can just phase out, or they could just be sitting somewhere else doing something else while you're busy yakking away. So it was actually quite important to get the teachers to realize, actually keep your class engaged. Every couple of minutes, throw out a question, throw out a comment, make sure that everyone is still part of the lesson. Another thing we realized is, unfortunately, that a lot of students right through from grade 8 to grade 12, they do need a lot more development in terms of ICT skills. Some of the skills that I identified that they could really do with just basic things like converting a Word document to a PDF, or converting anything to a PDF and sharing that. That would be really useful. Another skill that would be really cool is being able to put something in a cloud storage and share that as well. For example, we've all got OneDrive. Everyone has got a OneDrive account. Now, some of the students did not know that, and so they were unsure as to how to share files. So it's a good skill, being able to upload something and share it from cloud storage. We found that using the assignments feature in Teams was super awesome, because that way you can ensure that all your students get the notes or the requirements that they need and are then able to upload their work as well. You can keep track of who's uploading their work when and what time, and you can then mark work if it was a test or an assignment of some kind, and you can give feedback as well to the students. So the assignments feature, very, very powerful. What's also nice is that you can schedule your assignments in advance, so you can have all of your assignments already scheduled and only live on the day that the students need to access it. Very, very handy and very powerful as well. When it comes to handwritten work, or drawing for example, and people need to submit work like that, well, we have our phones. A cell phone is actually very powerful, and we suggested to the students that they download Microsoft Office Lens. Office Lens is really useful as a scanner. It can scan all types of documents, and it also converts it instantly into a PDF document and puts it in your OneDrive right away. So it makes it much easier to share. So we're going to be using that, especially with some of the written exams or written tasks where they write it out, take a few photos with Office Lens, creates a portfolio in a PDF format. They can then share that right away and upload that for the teacher, and that actually works quite well. Another issue we found was videos. It's very easy for students to create videos, and teachers as well, and to get those videos onto our computers. However, sharing the video is another story altogether, because a lot of people would think they'd have to send you the video file to share it, and of course these video clips are just way too big, especially in file size. So what I suggested to a lot of students, and it seems to be working quite well, is that they just use YouTube. Create a YouTube channel, upload your video to YouTube, share the link from there. And if you were worried about everyone else having access to it or other people in general seeing it, you just make it an unlisted video or private, so that only those who have the link that you send will be able to see the video. So it does actually make it quite secure and very safe.